What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we've got the latest news in on the 501 kilo deadlift attempt that Thor will be doing on the 2nd of May. Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall did a Q&A session and have both said their opinion on whether they think Thor will lift the 501 kilo or not. That will be coming up in just a second. But first I just wanted to have a quick look at Thor's 501 kg attempt at the Arnold Classic on the elephant bar just before we jump straight into the Brian Shaw and Eddie. Let's just take a closer look at that again. Okay, so basically, I don't think Thor's going to get the 501 kg attempt. I've said it in plenty of videos already. It's not because I hate Thor, I just think he's not quite ready yet for it. If you watch this video closely, people say that Thor's foot actually slips, and that affects whether he gets the lift or not. If you look really closely, just right about now, you see his foot just slightly slip. Just at the end there, but I personally think he'd already failed it when the foot slipped, so I don't really think that had any effect. But let's go straight into what Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall think themselves.
And that's a big if. Somehow Thor fails that lift after everything that has happened in recent weeks. What effects do you think that would have on his career and the sport itself, if any?
Well, if he failed it?
Yeah, so he's saying it's a if he failed the lift, and it's a big if. Because,
right.
you know, and what I will say to start off with is I think that that's a big point that a lot of people are forgetting about right now is everybody's just acting like this 501 kilo deadlift is a foregone conclusion. And then it's just when or if he wants to do it. If he does it in training or he does it in an actual contest, it's like it's already done. And I don't think it's already done. You know, you can't just sit here and say that that's a foregone conclusion. So I don't know if it is a big if, you know. I'm not saying that he's not capable of doing it. I don't want to go on record saying that, but at the same time, he has to do it. First and foremost, he has to do it. So what do you think? Let's go into the second part is, if he did fail, what effect do you think that would have on his career and the sport itself, if any?
Well, I mean, as you say, he's not done it yet. And from what I can say this, from what I judge, from what I'm seeing from Force training, I think he's close. And it's like, it is literally in my head, it's like 60-40, he's not going to do it.
Okay.
It's like 40% chance in my head he's going to do it. I think he's a little bit behind with what I was when I was training for the 500. But you know what? Again, it's like, what can you pull out on the day? So we don't know. That's a question mark. It's not a big if. It's for the general public, it should be a 50-50 decision, really.
Sure.
Whether he's going to pull this or not. What will it do for the sport? I mean, nothing, really. I mean, I could have come back after I did 500 and did 501, 502, 503, 504, kept going up to 510. But what would be the point? You know, I could have gone on God knows to what, but what would be the point? I think the only thing it will do, really, I mean, if he fails it, it'll just destroy him as a person. It'll get in his head. It's like, I know people that have trained their whole lives for competitions for World's Strongest Man and whatever else, and they never succeed. And that is soul-destroying, really soul-destroying. It can, if he's been saying he's going to do this for 4 years now, and then all this build up to this, I just think it's going to hurt him mentally, right? He's going to have really thick skin if he does fail this lift, especially after all that's been said and done.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's the hype that's been built up around this lift is, if he were to fail, which again, there's so many factors to a lift that big to pull it off. It's not a foregone conclusion, but if he were to fail, I think it would have a big impact on him personally, just because of all the talking that's gone on. I think it'd be really challenging, and it's something where I think he would need to try to come back and redeem himself. I think he's just put so much pressure on himself now to make it happen. And, we'll just have to see. I mean, as far as the sport itself, I think I don't know that it'll affect the sport one way or the other, because it's technically not a competition, the publicity could, maybe in a way could be good, but at the same time it also could be bad, because we don't want strongman kind of opening up to all these different federations. And, you know, again, I hope that it doesn't take the sport in the wrong direction either. You know, I want it to be good. And it's a tricky question to ask. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but at the same time, I think we will just have to sit back and see what happens, you know?
Okay, so to quickly summarize, basically they think that people just assume that Thor's going to get this lift as if it's not really a big deal. And it is a big deal. Like if he gets this lift, it's a phenomenal feat of strength, and people are really underestimating how much this will take out of Thor to actually pull this off, basically. Eddie Hall personally thinks it's a 60-40% chance, as in 60% chance he'll fail, 40% chance he'll succeed. I think that's quite a fair estimate, to be honest, because Eddie Hall is the only person on the planet to have pulled this weight. So I don't think he's being petty whatsoever. He's just comparing it to when he pulled it. He thinks Thor is slightly behind him. And they speak about how this will affect the sport. Eddie Hall doesn't really think it'll affect the sport at all, because the record traditionally got broken by like a kilo each time before Eddie Hall did the phenomenal feat of 500, jumping it by the 37 kilos. He doesn't think the sport will be affected, but if Thor fails it, Eddie Hall thinks that it will destroy him mentally, especially after all the pressure that's been put on him. So yeah, it's a massive deal. If Thor gets it, definitely he deserves congratulations on it. Whether it's a record or not, that's a different debate. But and if he fails it, it's going to be a big shock and a big embarrassment to all Thor fans and to Thor himself. And he'll probably need a lot of support to get over that and to come back and bounce back from that. But yeah, that's all the latest news. But to save you watching the full Brian Shaw video, although I highly suggest you go and watch it because it's a fantastic video. That's the one part about the Thor's 501 kilo deadlift. Just so that you're up to date with that. So if you've not already subscribed, if you're new, so hit that subscribe button, and if you've just joined, welcome, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.